Is amazing that it was a year ago I was standing there on holy ground in Jerusalem. We conducted a series of events designed to demonstrate unequivocally that Americans stand with the people of Israel, that we also recognize that old hatreds are rising up once again, not only there but all over the world and in our own country, and that this time there's a group of people that learn from our mistakes and our sins of the past, and we will not cower in fear, and we will not allow the world to slip into darkness again. Someone will hold the line. It was the week of restoring courage in ourselves, not for the people in Israel, but for ourselves. The importance of the event was confirmed when, literally hours after we announced the event, President Obama held a press conference about Israel. He made some pretty startling comments that there should be a two-state solution and Israel should redraw its borders based on the 1967 lines with mutually agreed swaps, which is a phrase I'll never forget. It would leave Israel behind what they call the Auschwitz lines, defenseless. They wouldn't be able to defend themselves against the neighboring enemies, which are growing in power. A year has passed. Israel is still in the center of the storm. There is a new axis of evil that is forming. Nations all around the world that wish to band together to defeat the great Satan and the little Satan. And it's not just nations, it's people from within. Egypt is taking a disturbing and dark turn that we warned about from the very beginning. When everyone else cheered the revolution, we said, wait. The Muslim Brotherhood has grabbed power and already dismantled any roadblocks that were in their way. Iran has not backed off its nuclear program, nor its threats to wipe Israel off the map. And on November 6th, Israel will either get an America that is a rock-solid ally, or one that tickles the ears, like President Obama, who is reportedly considering a conveniently close to the election-timed visit to Israel, and at the same time will cozy up to Palestinians. It is a dangerous time on planet Earth. Will they feel so cornered that they will have to strike out in defense? Will Iran finally try to rid the world of Israel? And will this, or anything like it, happen before the election? Tonight, we attempt to find out. With me tonight are some legends. We have Jerry Boykin. He is the retired U.S. Army General, Lieutenant General. He is also the former United States Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. We have Claire Lopez. She is a former CIA officer, senior fellow for the Center for Security Policy. Good friend, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, president of the American Alliance of Jews and Christians. Another good friend, Pastor John Hagee, founder of Christians United for Israel and author of The Power of the Prophetic Blessing. Bill Cowan is here. He is retired United States Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel, and all experts on what we're about to talk about tonight on every front. The past, the present, the future, politically, spiritually, you name it. First, let's start with, I remember over a year ago when we announced this, and John, you were there standing with me the whole time. But even some of your people said, you're crazy to do this. And I left there thinking that it didn't make any difference at all. I still don't think it really made any difference. I don't understand what difference it did make. Have you seen any changes? Has anybody seen any changes from that event? Anybody? John?
I believe the people in Israel are understanding that there's a large group of evangelicals in America that do support them. It's true that many Israelis and Jewish people all over the world are suspicious of any Christian act of kindness, yes, because there's been 2,000 years of abuse in the name of the Lord and under the sign of the cross. But I believe because of restoring courage and other things that have been happening of recent vintage, that the Jewish people now are beginning to see that there are large numbers of people in the United States of America that will stand with them, speak up with them, go to Washington to represent them, and they recognize it's a new day, but they also have a very real awareness that they are under an existential threat from Iran.
Rabbi, the one thing that I really felt when I was over in Israel is how much the Jewish people do not trust Christians. When a Christian comes over and says, I want to help. Sure. And they also, I think, needed to see that we are not, the people are not the government.
That is the key thing, Glenn. Through your work, through your being there, and through 20 years of Pastor Hagee's work.
Big time.
I think the folks in Israel recognize precisely the point you've just made, which is that there is an enormous difference between the government of the United States and Christian America. And really, if you think about it, this is just a small blip on the radar screen of history. We are in this extraordinary moment where Christians and Jews standing together as a sort of brotherhood of destiny provides perhaps the only chance of defeating the most vengeful and frenzied force for barbarism that the world has seen in hundreds of years.
It's crazy what's going on in the world right now. Let me take it to crazy town. What's happening now in the Middle East because we backed this insane revolution and we thought, oh, the Muslim Brotherhood, they're all going to be great. We have so destabilized the entire world. And I remember when Bush said, freedom's on the march. It's the exact opposite now. Oppression and serious darkness is on the march. And nobody seems, at least in the press or at least in this White House, to be really tying it together and saying, we're in deep, deep trouble. Anybody want to go there on how much trouble the world is facing right now?